here is the overview you need to keep in mind. So do you owe taxes working for DoorDash? Yes. Just like everyone else, you need to pay taxes. Okay, so this year, or last year rather, if you earn more than $600 while working for DoorDash, you are required to pay taxes. It doesn't apply only to DoorDash employees. To compensate for lost income you may have taken on some side jobs. So the money you earn will be taxed anyway. You'll have to pay income tax on that money at your regular income tax rate. So from 10% all the way to 37%. So you also need to pay a self-employment tax. In this case, it's a 15.3% tax that covers what you owe for Social Security and Medicare. And traditional employees, it's really important to specify here. Traditional employees are responsible for splitting this cost with their employer, but when it's just you, it is your responsibility, only you. Fortunately, there is some good news as well. Your annual tax return may allow you to deduct a portion of that self-employment tax. It's important to know that DoorDash drivers are independent contractors, not employees. In other words, you're self-employed. And so no taxes are withheld whatsoever from your earnings. As such, you will file taxes as an independent business owner when tax season rolls around. So what kind of DoorDash taxes do you have to pay? Well, for self-employed individuals like Dashers, tax season comes with some major headaches. So you have what? You have the lack of withholding. So since you are essentially an independent contractor list instead of an employee, DoorDash will not withhold anything at all. So it's up to you. So that's the first thing. You also have FICA taxes. So when we talk about FICA taxes, that's what I spoke about earlier, the 15.3%. So basically you have, so when we talk about FICA stands for Federal Income Insurance Contributions Act. So your FICA tax cover Social Security and Medicare taxes. So we have 6.2% for Social Security and 1.45% for Medicare, right? But because you're actually paying both ends of the same equation, you have to multiply those numbers by 2. So they all add up to 15.3%. Okay, and so when we talk about, so those are things I want you to think about. The best way to actually take care of your taxes is to always save 1/3 of your savings. So what you want to do, you want to have a separate bank account where you just park 1/3 of your cash into that account and don't even touch it. So let me just actually clarify, because we are receiving a lot of questions from our viewers. So does DoorDash take taxes out of my paycheck? The answer is no. By the way, welcome back to the channel. Really are very happy to have you here. And into this conversation, we're talking about how to file taxes as a Dasher. So no, the answer is no. As an independent contractor, let me repeat, you are responsible for paying your taxes, okay? DoorDash is an independent contractor, which means it does not automatically withhold federal or state income taxes. You will have to calculate and pay the taxes yourself, okay? And it's really important to understand that you are responsible, and the IRS will make sure that you pay your taxes. Now, how much to set aside for taxes on DoorDash? Our preference, what we tell our clients, is to actually put 1/3. 1/3. So if you want to pay your taxes, you don't want to actually be surprised at year end. And the thing is that the Dasher app does not contain a DoorDash tax calculator. So you can determine your taxable income by subtracting any deductions from the money you earn, and by determining your filing status. It can be single, married filing jointly, married filing separately, head of household, and widower with dependent children. So generally, experts say that you should set aside 30 to 40% of your income to cover both federal and state taxes. We tell folks to set aside at least 33%. So this falls in the same ballpark, really. So whether you file your taxes quarterly or annually, you need to set aside a portion of your income for your taxes. For this, you must know the exact dollar amount you need to save. And so using a 1099 tax rate calculator is the quickest and easiest way. And so a lack of proper plan could lead you to incur penalties, which you don't want anyway, fees you don't want anyway, okay? And you want to have the cash available so that you actually pay the taxman when it's time. one thing I want to say here is that don't bother with all those tax calculators, people trying to confuse you. Just save reflexively and automatically 33%, 1/3 of your income. Just save that. Okay, don't bother, just save that. Come tax time, just make the payments. If you have to make quarterly payments, make the quarterly payments. That's it. Now let's talk about the DoorDash 1099 forms. By the way, I want to quickly remind everybody of today's topic. We're having a conversation about how to file taxes with DoorDash. So the thing here is that during tax season, tax forms are released with all the relevant information for the previous year. And if you earn at least $600 through Dashin in the previous year, you would receive a 1099 NEC, non-employee compensation. And you will be provided with the 1099 NEC form by DoorDash once you start working with them. And you will receive your 1099 form by the end of January. So if for any reason you have not received any information, any 1099 NEC from DoorDash, please contact them. You want to contact them during the first week of February or the second week. And one thing you can also do is you can actually go online. You can go through the app. You can download the form through the app. In some cases, the form 1099 is available through the app, so not a problem. Okay, because the good thing is all of those tax forms, they're available nowadays online on the cloud. Okay, and one thing I want to say here is that box 7, non-employee compensation, will be the most important box to fill out on this form. So this reports your total DoorDash earnings last year, and you should report your total DoorDash earnings first. And if you are working with an accountant or a CPA, that's fine. You just need to send the experts your 1099 and information and any tax deduction you wish to take. I mean, this could be also a tax attorney. This could be a tax preparer, just a regular tax preparer. It can be also an enrolled agent. So if you want to talk to an expert, it's always good to give the experts all the documentation they need. If you are using tax software, you will enter your earnings total and any deductions you wish to take, and the software will calculate your taxable income for you automatically. If you are doing your own taxes, you will use your non-employee compensation number on your Schedule C to report gross earnings on line 1 of your Schedule C. You will also note which expenses you wish to claim as deductions on the Schedule C. Next, you will enter your total business profits on the Schedule SC, which will determine the amount of taxes payable on your independent income. So Schedule SC actually tracks your self-employment taxes. So this is really important to keep in mind. Let's talk about 1099 NEC versus 1099K. This is an important distinction that you need to keep in mind, because if you are a dasher and you're thinking about your taxes, you got to know which is what. So if you make more than $20,000 in sales and have 200 or more transactions, you will have to file a 1099K instead of a 1099 NEC. So Payable may send you a 1099K rather than a 1099 NEC if you are a full-time dasher, and Payable will send you the 1099K because they handle the transactions related to your DoorDash sales, and the form stands for payment card and third-party network transactions. However, there is a slight exception to this rule. If you made more than $600 in total earnings from deliveries in let's say Vermont or Massachusetts, you will receive a 1099K. So how do you find your form 1099? Well, in your Payable account, you can choose how you want to receive your 1099. For the previous tax year, Payable usually sends your 1099 via mail by January 31st. This is what the law tells them to do. Okay, you can review your form online or in your Payable account if your information was incorrect or you did not receive your form within 3 to 5 business days. So how do you find actually your 1099 NEC? Well, DoorDash sends their 1099s through Stripe. They've used Payable in the past, but nowadays they've changed. So in early January, you want to expect an email inviting you to set a Stripe Express account. You want to keep an eye for this email and make sure it doesn't go to spam. This is a lot of people have this problem. So please track your emails and make sure it doesn't go to spam. You will need a Stripe Express account to get your 1099. And the subject line to look out is confirm your tax information with DoorDash. So Stripe gives you the option to receive your 1099 by either e-delivery or snail mail. E-delivery is the faster option. It will let you see your 1099 online by January 31st. If you choose snail mail, in other words, USPS mail, your form will be mailed out on the last day of January, but it could be delivered up to 10 business days later. So think about that. And there are ways to correct information on your 1099 NEC. So if there are problems, you need to contact Stripe to kind of help them, okay? And but the thing is, you have to actually make sure that you have all the forms that you need before you start filing your taxes on 1040. So the question is, do you pay taxes on DoorDash tips? By the way, before I answer that question, welcome back to the channel, where actually today's topic, I'm talking to you about how to file taxes with DoorDash. So the question is, do you pay taxes on DoorDash tips? Yes. Yes. Cash and non-cash tips are both taxed by the IRS. So don't get it twisted. They are taxed. Federal income taxes apply to DoorDash tips unless their total amounts are below $20. Your cash tips are not included in the information on the 1099 NEC you'll receive from DoorDash. However, you still need to report them. If you receive a tip as an employee, then you are obligated to pay taxes on this additional income. Let's also talk about DoorDash tax deductions. So independent contractors have the advantage of being able to deduct lots of costs, such as mileage, hot bags, etc. they incur in the course of performing their job. Okay, so how much of your business expenses to deduct? It really depends on. It has to be applicable to the business. Okay, I mean, keep in mind, if you use some of these purchases in your personal life as well, they will only be partially tax deductible. Just think about if you use your car or your phone 30% or 70%, you want to apply the proper percentage. So when we talk about DoorDash tax deductions, think about anything from phone to the vehicle. You have hot bags and blankets. You have to think about health insurance. You have to think about anything, promotion, advertising. If you are advertising, so whatever you do, because if you think about DoorDash, you are basically self-employed. So you are running a business. You are a sole proprietorship. So whatever you have to do to actually survive, that's what you actually claim on your. You need to write it off when it comes to your tax return. Okay. So once you know what you can write off, you'll need to fill out a form Schedule C, profit and loss from business. And remember, you do not need an LLC to take this write-offs. Even if you don't have a business legal entity set up, the IRS automatically will classify you as a sole proprietor, someone who is in business by themselves. Okay, and no matter your business structure, you will need to fill out Schedule C to get your write-offs. Let me dig a little deeper here. I want to talk about the car-related write-offs for DoorDash. This is something very important that a lot of people are interested in. So the thing here is that odds are good that as a dasher, you are spending a lot on your car. You can deduct costs like this using either the standard mileage rate or the actual expense method. So when we talk about those car-related expenses, we're speaking about gas, maintenance, repairs, inspections, car insurance, auto loan interest, vehicle depreciation, parking fees, tolls, registrations. Okay, there are other write-offs for DoorDash. I've spoken about this before. Your phone and phone accessories, your apps for bookkeeping and mileage tracking, insulating bags, DoorDash commission fees. Those are really important. So you have tolls. So if you pay tolls while working, they are deductible. However, make sure you have not been reimbursed for them already. Okay, parking. So working in the city sometimes means paying for parking. So those expenses are tax deductible. Please note that traffic violations, speeding tickets, and parking tickets are not deductible because they are incurred due to improper driving and not directly due to work. Also think about inspection. So expenses for vehicle inspections and background checks associated with your delivery job are deductible. Roadside assistance. Tax deductions are available for AAA and other roadside assistance programs. Take note, however, though, of how much this expense is being used for work. You should only deduct the portion of the expenses that are related to your work. If, for example, you use your subscription twice a year for work and once for personal reasons. So always you need to segregate the expenses. And so you want to calculate the business versus the non-business mileage ratio for your car using your business mileage log. Then apply that ratio to calculate the AAA deductible portion. So in general, one thing I want to say about mileage is that independent contractors, aka dashers, Uberists, whatever you have it, drivers for other people who drive for other gig apps, you can deduct your non-commuting business mileage. Included are miles you drive to your first delivery pickup, between deliveries and back home at the end of the day. However, there's a slight catch. You cannot deduct mileage and gas at the same price. Okay, according to the IRS, the standard mileage deduction, 58 or 59 cents a mile this year, accounts for gas, car payments, maintenance, insurance, and depreciation. So you can think of this as a large deduction for all of the expenses incurred by using your car. So the big question is, how do you pay DoorDash taxes? So this is an important element because you don't want to have, you don't want to pay like those penalties, whatever. So in spite of not getting a W-2, your income tax filing process will not differ much from those with traditional employment. DoorDash will issue a 1099, which will list the amount of pay you received from deliveries. So because most dashers operate as sole proprietors, there is no legal structure to their work like there is with an LLC or S Corp. This means they will still file a personal tax return. Dashers can deduct their business expenses from their personal tax returns through Schedule C or Form 1040. I explained that. And so the thing is that you can therefore often file as usual. And by doing this, you will pay your taxes owed before April 15th. However, you may want to carefully consider this option. The result of zero withholding is that you will have a big tax bill due on tax day. As I just said, it's always important to save 1/3 to 40% of your income so you are safe, okay? Also think about estimated quarterly payments. Do you need those? Think about the estimated tax payment due dates, April 15th. Really important. And so if you need help with filing DoorDash taxes, always understand you can always reach out to a tax professional. You can reach out to a tax planner. You can reach out to an enrolled agent. You can reach out to a CPA. You can reach out to a certified public accountant. You can reach out to a tax attorney. So the constellation of professionals who can help you is really big. And so when do you have to file DoorDash taxes? It really depends, but overall, you need to think about April 15th. That's when your Form 1040 is due. But if you have to make estimated quarterly taxes, here are the due dates. So April 15th, June 15th, September 15th, and January 15th of the following year, of course. And so it's really important to keep those dates in mind so that you're really sure. You don't have to you don't have to suffer the IRS's failure to pay or failure to file penalties. This is really important. And one thing I need to say before, and this is to close to this conversation, when we talk about filing taxes with DoorDash as a dasher, consider yourself first and foremost entrepreneur. You're not someone who just goes on an app and picks up any deliveries. No, you are an entrepreneur who is responsible for a constellation of factors, constellation of actions and staff. So you really need to think of it that way. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I was talking to you about how to file taxes with DoorDash. So I spoke about whether or not you owe taxes working for DoorDash. If DoorDash took taxes out of your paycheck, how much you set aside for taxes on DoorDash, 1099 forms, 1099 NEC versus 1099K. Do you pay taxes on DoorDash tips? DoorDash tax deductions? How to pay DoorDash taxes? If you need help filing with DoorDash taxes and when you have to file DoorDash taxes. Thank you so much for your attention. I really appreciate it. God bless you. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.